Today we're making poor man's burnt ends. We're gonna season it with our Rocks coffee rub, our Rocks Anytime, and then we're gonna finish them off with our Rocks Irish whiskey barbecue sauce. To begin, I apply a binder to this chuck roast. For this recipe, I'll be using yellow mustard. The binder will help the rub stick to the meat, both during the application and early in the smoking process. Once I've applied the binder, I season the roast with our Rocks Anytime Spice Blend, which is an all-purpose blend that contains garlic, salt, pepper, and other spices. Next, I applied equal parts of our Rocks Coffee Rub, which includes paprika and coffee, infusing an earthy tone. After seasoning the top, I flip the chuck roast on its side and then apply both the Anytime and coffee rub to the sides. Here we show just the Anytime. Lastly, I flipped over the chuck roast and applied more yellow mustard as a binder, followed by equal parts of our Rocks Anytime and Rocks Coffee Rub. Lastly, before I'm ready to throw these on the smoker, I inserted my Meter Plus wireless thermometer. For this recipe, I used my Traeger Timberline XL smoker with the temperature set at 250 degrees Fahrenheit. I smoked these roasts for 7 hours until the internal temperature reached 165 degrees. At that point, you have the option to wrap your roast in foil to speed up the cooking process. Once they reach 195 degrees Fahrenheit, I pulled them off the smoker, dumping the liquid that is formed into a foil 8x5 aluminum pan. Then I began to cube up the chuck roast into 1.5 inch by 1.5 inch cubes and put them into the 8x5 aluminum pan that had the juice in it. Depending on your serving size, feel free to cut them into larger or smaller chunks. It really ends up being a personal preference. Next, I sliced up 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter to add to our pan of cubed chuck roast. Finally, I added a heavy dose of our Rocks Irish whiskey barbecue sauce to these wonderful beef nuggets. Using my hands, I incorporated the butter and the barbecue sauce, ensuring that each cube was coated evenly. Finally, I covered the pan with foil and placed it back on the smoker for an additional 1.5 to 2 hours until the chuck roast nuggets reached an internal temperature of 200 to 205 degrees Fahrenheit. Once they're done, I remove the pan from the smoker, and then after adding a final coating of our Rocks Irish whiskey barbecue sauce, I dove in for that first bite. These meat nuggets are a delicious and juicy option to serve up to family and friends. This recipe is a great way to enjoy velvety beef without breaking the bank.